exercise Phoenix has been designed to test and verify the UK's National Contingency Plan. The scenario involves an oil field approximately 80 nautical miles southwest of the Shetland Islands and the mobilisation of the operator, regulators and local authorities.
The exercise has been formally evaluated with a team of evaluators embedded within the national cells and support organisations. They are there to ensure a fair and constructive evaluation, ensuring any lessons in good practice can be gathered for future response benefit.
The purpose of the exercise is to test the National Contingency Plan and all the response arrangements that are included in that plan. So that's why we have so many organisations playing, from industry and from government involved. And it is important to test that in intervals to A, verify that the plan we have is still valid, but also to give people the experience that they might not get otherwise in real incidents.
Harbour is a relatively new company. It's an amalgamation of three separate companies. Now they're all experienced operators, but obviously we're pulling together all of that knowledge and understanding, all of those processes and procedures. So this is a great chance for us to test whether that has worked effectively. And I think the early indications are that it's working pretty well. So obviously we'll take those learnings and we'll move with them and make any adjustments that we need to, but from our perspective, that evaluation, that feedback will be really useful to helping Harbour shape its way forward.
We train in all sorts of different levels, and we train so that when it happens for real, we are ready, we understand how we're going to do our business, we are good at what we are doing, we're familiar with the problems, we're familiar with the equipment, we're familiar talking to our other agencies so that none of this comes as a surprise. An incident in the real world, will always be slightly different, but as long as we understand the ground rules, as long as we understand the procedures that we have to follow, then we can attack it in the best way possible.
This exercise will be a success if we ensure that the people involved in the exercise and the actual event are kept safe. That's a fundamental role. Second piece is if there is any environmental impact and related with the incident, that we manage that appropriately, ensure there's minimal risk to the environment, and ensure that any assets that are impacted, that we minimise the damage or the impact on those. And also, I think an important part of this exercise is just to understand and test our procedures and processes and take any learnings from that so that we can strengthen what we have in place to ensure that we are in the best place possible in the future to be able to respond to any event such as this.
An insight to me from this event is that you have to think quite carefully about the people you're standing up and their technical input to the response, and don't overdo it but equally don't underplay. It has to be well thought through, and you do have to be able to respond from a long-term perspective and have sufficient backup. That needs quite early thought.
We'll measure the success of the exercise by the feedback that we receive from the internal and the external parties involved. Feedback is very important to us to allow us to continue to develop and enhance our procedures and our processes in place. The level of feedback will very much determine the success and the work that we have to do moving forward to continue to demonstrate our ability to respond to such incidents.